So today we'll be discussing two topics. One is advanced filter, and then get into macros. So let me share this file, which is advancedfilter.xls file, which I just put it on the WhatsApp. It is nothing but the same data that have we looked before. So you could even use that file. Let me just share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
So here,
Yes, audible. Yes.
yes, thank you. So here, we all know there is a filtering. So generally, anyone who is kind of get experience with filter, we use Shift Control L. There are actually many keyboard shortcuts. This is one. I just pressing Shift Control L, and I get filter in the enabled in the first row. When I click again, click in a sense, press Shift Control L, the filter kind of goes away. Obviously, there are ways like you could always do this sort and filter here. Click on this and say filter, little filter, create a filter here. So this is something which I guess everybody would know because this is a basic Excel in a sense. Everybody's kind of aware of it. And here we could always find, if there are properties who's sign up, who are all agents we have. So we see the agents here. We see so many agents. We want to see, what are the properties that Kelly is looking at or interacting with. So we'll say there are four on the status bar, but bottom there you say 4 of 125 records found. So we saw that there are total 125 records and there are four records out there where Kelly is an agent. And if you want to now, this is anyway, let us say we'll pick up few more. So maybe we'll take Adams and take Jenkins and say okay, we get 20 out of 120. Now in that, if you want to have something like list price is more than uh, 3 lakhs or less than 3 lakh, either way we could apply this filter here. There's a number of filters and you say greater than, let us say, 2 lakhs or rather 3 lakhs. The 3 1 1 1 2 3 lakhs, and obviously here you can see there is a greater than, less than, equal to, greater than or equal to, all those facilities are there. There's also and or, which is there, and you could get this. So you could get now all these values which are properties which are more than thing. So this is like a and. So basically we're saying find all the properties where the agent is Adams or Jenkins, and the list price is more than 3 lakhs, and if they are sold or not. So you could do all that. I mean, which are not sold, so which are available for selling, and you could get these 5 records. So these are typically what we use filter for. And using filter, you can actually understand more about data. We want specific information, we can get that. Now, what we'll do now, if I just want to clear off, I can just go here and say clear filter, and then everything gets clear. If don't want the filter here, I can just say filter here, and it kind of goes away. So this is a basic thing. I'm sure everybody is kind of aware of. What we'll look at now is what is the advanced filter. So here in data, again you see a filter, big filter icon here. If you click on it, it gives the same effect like what we saw in home tab. It's the same thing basically. But here we have advanced filter, and this is what we'll now learn doing it. So to make use of it, let me first create some rows in the top. So let me just select 5 rows, uh, say insert, and now I got 5 rows over here insert at the same time. I mean, if you want to insert more than one row, then you should just select those many rows and just say insert, or you can also use, for example, sorry, you can always insert by just selecting as many rows as you want. I mean, just say insert. Now, why we are doing this? Because the way we'll do it is we'll kind of select this heading again, and this is not necessarily the way to do it. This is the most preferred way of doing it. Now, what advanced filter is doing is that it will actually ask you know which range it is. Now, since your cursor was here in this range, it knows this is a range. And ask for the criteria range. Now, this criteria range has to have two or more rows. Let me repeat. The criteria range will have two or more rows. The first row has to be the header row. The first row has to be header row. Okay. So for the time being, we will pick up these two rows. Okay. And we'll just say yes. And we say filter the list in place. We'll filter it here only. And there's a possibility of selecting only unique records, which in this case will not be applicable, but could be useful uh, at some point of time. And then we say okay, and we have got something like this. Now, obviously, we don't have any criteria, so we'll need to put some criteria. Now, I guess we'll put a criteria something like we'll put Jenkins, and we'll say list price is more than 3 lakhs. And obviously, we need to again do the same thing. Go to advanced. We got this correctly selected. We'll go here, and I guess it is selected already, but let me just do that. Okay. Mm, okay. And just say okay, and I get the same effect. Okay. Now, obviously, you would wonder why do we really need this? I mean, we could always do it without it. One is obviously you could, if there are thousands of records, you could create this kind of a small table over here and say put what are the criteria that we want, and that could be one reason why you want to use this. So instead of using a filtering thing, you could do this. Or what is here, why we need more than one row is because this is going something like this, that agent is Jenkins and list price is more than 3000. But what if I want to find agent is Jenkins, list price is more than 3000, and maybe I'll say Adams, and for him the list price should be more than say 2 lakhs. So the way I read it is like this. I read it, find all the rows, find all the properties where the agent is Jenkins and list price is more than 3 lakh, or where the agent is Adams and the list price is more than 2 lakh. That is the criteria that is very complex criteria, which is what we are kind of trying to use it. Now let us first clear this off. So we will go back to data, clear, go to advanced. Uh, Now we have to select the range. So again, let me just escape, put a cursor inside the range, click on advanced. I got this range correctly done. Then I go to criteria range. This time I select 3 rows in a shot, and then I say okay, and I say okay, and it give me 15 rows of 125, and you can check that is something which is what we're looking at. So Adams and Jenkins, we got this 15 out of 125 record, which follows this kind of a criteria. Yeah, is this clear? Any question?
So, sir,
Clear.
we could do these things using conditional formatting also, right?
Conditional formatting will highlight things.
Okay,
Here we want to filter out things.
that's the difference.
That's a difference. Secondly, we also have an option that we can copy to something else. So
Okay,
yes,
okay.
or you can have a unique records also. That's another option. That so if you want to say copy to another location, so let us do this, and we'll put a copy to another location and put it here maybe. Copy to another location. Just to ensure that we got the right thing. I3A3. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Then you will get this data over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another benefit. You can actually get the data over here. So you may want to just pick up some data and put it in some other worksheet. In one shot, you could do it instead of, because in filtering you may not be sure how to copy and all that. No? So this will get copied also at the same time. So that is another benefit of using advanced Excel.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Please do these things once, and if you get any difficulty, if you find something which is not very clear, ask me. If required, you can share your screen and we can look at your screen. But get the same effect. I guess both you get those 50 records over here with this criteria, and also try to copy to some other location. Yes, Vipul. Let me explain it once more. So what I've done here is that when you look at this advanced filter uh, dialog box, it asks basically whether you want to filter the list in place or copy it on the location. So let us start with the filter the list in place. That is here only we're filtering. We need to select the range. Now one is to select it manually, but the best approach. So for example, if I have a cursor here and I click on this advance, let me just clear this. Um, if I click here and then I say advance, then I need to kind of whatever is already there will be kind of picked up, and it could be kind of a mistaken. So I always say that, or let me just clear first, okay, and show it like this. Okay, let me clear this off. That is going like this. Okay, so let me actually cancel this, put it here. Now it has picked up correctly, right? Once you are here in this, it is picked up very correctly. The continuous range. So there is a first rule that you should. I think I have been doing that in all the sessions. That whenever you want to select a range, put your cursor in that range, and the Excel will kind of pick up the range correctly. Then criteria range we have picked up here. So here, let me do it again. I picked up this many rows, 3 rows. But the first row has to be heading. Okay, and there has to be at least 2 rows. There has to be at least 2 rows, and you could have as many more rows as required. But the first row has to be headings. Okay, and the second and third rows is where you put the criteria. So here we have put the criteria saying that agent is Jenkins and list price is good more than 3,000, or agent is Adams and list price is more than 2 lakhs, and that is a criteria which we have applied. And then we just say okay, and we can see 15 rows are selected here. Huh? Did it help, Vipul? Vipul, could you get it? And others, could you do it? I mean, if there are any difficulty, please ask. If you're done, let's just say done, and we'll move to the next topic. But otherwise, take some time to kind of uh, explore it. Okay. So Brunal is also done. Let us wait for Vinod sir. Okay. So everybody is done. So that kind of simple thing is obviously you could do more with it. One of the use case which people use not for actually doing advanced filter, but if you want the unique records, then you have two ways to do it. One is that we could use this details only. I mean, you could use this advanced filter, and then instead of doing any let us do it this way. Instead of putting any big criteria out there, you just put a blank thing and just put a unique records only, and that will and copy it maybe. So many times people need have so many records, and you want to just copy unique records to some other location. So advanced filter is actually not meant for it, frankly speaking. But I have seen many places people are using advanced filter to copy unique records. So maybe I have 10,000 records, which is like a lot of duplicate details. And I just want to copy what are the unique records. Maybe out of 1,000 records, there may be something 700 are unique, and I want to put it in some other location. I just to advance, pick up a list range and criteria. You can have something if required. Otherwise, you can even leave it empty, and then you just copy to another location, and that another location you will need to specify. So let me do one thing. Let me just get rid of this first. uh, we need to do copy to, you will have it here. And I just now in this case we'll get obviously the same numbers because we have uh, almost same. There is no duplicate records here. But if you have duplicate records, you could simply get a copy of it, which becomes pretty simple, straightforward kind of a thing. So it is not intended use of advanced Excel, but this particular use case is very much used. You see in action when people want to pick up unique records from one list and move it to another location. That is where also advanced filter could be used. Okay, and obviously there is a menu called remove duplicates, which you could always do. So you can select some rows. For example, we'll just have these agents here, and I can remove duplicates. And it will say expand the selection or not. Obviously, when you expand selection, it will not have many duplicates. So we'll just start with this continuous selection, remove duplicates, and it will say, okay, I want to remove this agent duplicates, and 115 duplicate values are found and removed. 115 unique values are remaining. So this is what you would have got it. So this is one way you could get data and remove it, but this will remove in place, right? So that is one way to do it. Other way could be just pick up this agents and then do advance. Now here it will take one I 131. I just want a I will need to put a. I just put a. Okay. I just put A6 to A 131. Don't put any criteria. Copy to remove this and maybe put key1, a unique records only, and I get this list over here. Uh, is this clear? I have done it a little faster, but what I've done is that I said filter the list. Sorry, I said copy to another location. I picked up this column, whichever I wanted to filter, copied another location, and I just see unique records only, and selected key1, and it went to all this. So you kind of uh, so if you have a column and it has or multiple columns, and we want to just pick up unique records from it and copy to another location, then also you can use advanced filter. Is this clear?
Yes.
Can you repeat one time?
Yes, I'll do that. Let me just clear this data. Let me pick up. Um, Let me take this one. So here I have got this thing,
Okay, you have copied only the agent's name here.
all agents only,
Okay,
and this is the data we got. And I had a requirement that I have to uh, pick up only unique values, 15 unique
unique
values.
values. Okay, okay.
So one is that suppose I have this data. One, there are two ways we could do it. One is here. Let me just copy. One is I pick up this thing and say remove duplicates,
Hmm.
and it will on in place. It will remove it.
Correct. Okay.
Uh, so it has kind of picked up. This is one way to do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Other
Hmm.
way is that you select here, go to advanced filter,
Hmm.
copy to another location.
Hmm.
This is A1 to 126. So it has got
Hmm.
this range
Hmm.
properly
Hmm.
done.
Hmm.
There is no criteria range. I'll say
Hmm.
copy to. I'll say select C.
Hmm.
It's a unique record only,
Hmm.
and I get
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Clear. 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 Very clear.
Yeah. So this is another way people use advanced filter.
Hmm.
Yeah. Is this clear? Do you want to try it out quickly?
Yes. Yes. We'll try. We'll try.
Yeah. Just try it out. I mean, maybe you can just take this uh, data in another worksheet and work it out.
Sir, one question. Can we copy to another sheet or it will copy only within the active sheet?
It will copy another sheet also.
Okay.
Only thing we need to be careful about copying it properly. And I think we need to create that sheet. So let me just say new here and pick it up here, advance, uh, copy to another location. And instead of saying copy to here, I go here. So it's a new A1 is what I have put in. And I say unique record. And I will just put it okay. Oh, sorry. You can only copy filter data to the active sheet. Oh, okay. I was not so much aware of it. You can only copy filter. Okay, this seems to be a limitation of it that you can't copy to another sheet. It's only to the active sheet. Um, let's
Okay.
try doing that again. I'm just trying to see whether I can get this. Okay, so I cannot cheated Excel in a way. It requires it can be copied only to active sheet. Okay, So that's the reason we got an error earlier. So what I've done here, so let me do it this way. Here I had this is active sheet. I said advance, then copy to another location. List range, I went to list range. I took this list range. I came back to my worksheet. Okay, and here in this I said I will do copy. So this is my active sheet. So and now I just unique record with a single cell in the range. Okay, I guess let me again do this. Okay, uh, I'm trying to do list range. I'm picking up from sheet one, sheet three. Okay, and so I may need to type in here. That's the only time and copy to link location. It's not working that well. Uh, huh. So we can't copy to another worksheet, but in this worksheet you can get data from another worksheet. So wherever you have to copy in, you have to work in that worksheet. That worksheet has to be an active sheet. Then it will work.
Okay,
Uh,
understood.
yeah, this
Thank
is
you.
just a workaround for it. Yeah. Any other question before we move on? Okay, then let us move on to the next one. So let me just stop sharing and open another file. So I've given one file called macros.xls, but that is actually the file which has some formulas. So since we'll be doing some coding, we will do that. So let me just share my
Actually, I'm not
screen.
able to hear anything. Is that some network issue?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir, clearly.
Okay, Ramal, can you hear me? Okay, sir. Ramal sir, are you able to hear me now? I mean,
Yeah, it's clear now. Yes, I'm able to hear you now. Yeah.
okay. So I've opened another file called macros, but it is actually nothing but a functions file. So we'll use it a little later. For the time being, let me just show you. So we're not, as I said, we're not getting into macros programming first. So we'll just understand what they are. And there are certain tricks that could be useful. So sometimes, I mean, if you're working in Excel regularly, there are always something that we need to do every now and then. For example, we just need to create a table. So I'm just creating some table. Let us say I'm creating a name, ID, name, email address. This is actually not very great requirement, but for the sake of illustration, I'm just showing you. And then phone number. I just type in these things. Uh, then I select four and maybe some 20 records. I do the bordering of it, and I go to format and say auto fit column. and then I go ahead and change this color to say yellow and change other color to something something like this. And this I'm supposed to do every now and then. That is what this plan is. Now I could do this again. I do it same time again another time and so on. I can do all that. But then instead of doing all of that, there is a way to record this. So whatever we are done doing in Excel can be recorded as a macro, and we can replay it. So it's something like just record something and just replay it. That is what we'll be doing. Okay. So in my Excel, I see this developer tab. Now, do you see that developer tab in your Excel? Do you see a developer tab in your Excel? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm not seeing, sir.
Yes, yes, that's correct. So I think mostly you'll not see it. So what you need to do, just go to File, go to the File menu, and there you will see Options. So click on Options. So basically, you're opening a Excel Options dialog box. Yeah. Click on File, go to Excel Options, go to Options, and there's a Customize Ribbon menu is there. Customize Ribbon, and here you see a Developer tab, and it might not be clicked in for you. You just to
Hmm.
click that as a developer and say OK, and you get this tab, Developer tab. Did you get it?
I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did everybody get it?
Yeah, now I got it.
Okay. What about others?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now what we'll do, we'll do what we call the record macro. Okay. Just uh, all the commands that we are doing in Excel, we will record it so that we can replay it as many times as you want. Right? So let me do a record macro. And it will say macro name. I'll say my first macro. So it will say first. This will store macro in this workbook. I say yes. Or we can create a new workbook. Typically, we'll do this workbook. Okay. And I say okay. And now I will do something which is repetitive task. So I'm just giving some example. I say ID, name, email, and I just create maybe what record. Go to home, add columns to it, make this yellow. Okay, so I think this is what I have done so far. Uh, and then I just go and say stop recording. And then stop recording. Now, anytime next time I have to do it, I just click here, go here, and say macros. Go there, and I say first, I simply say run, and it repeat whatever we have done so far. It will simply repeat that. It is as simple as it is. There's nothing complicated here. It's just record. So if you doing something repeatedly, then this is the way you could do it. Now there's a slight variation which we'll also look at it, and then I'll ask you to do it in your worksheet. Is that if I go to another worksheet, I put my cursor somewhere here, and I say um, run macros. Okay, first macro run. It will start it. It will say ID, and it will jump back and do this whole thing over here only. Okay, it's because we have got its absolute reference recorded as absolute reference. So it starts with here, but then ultimately it moves to the original location. Now to avoid that, what we need to do is that when you are recording it, you have to say use relative references. So this relative and everywhere is is used everywhere. We started with that in the last session. Also, we're talking the same thing: relative and absolute references. So we'll say use relative reference, and now we will create. We will say ID, name, email. We just create a table like thing, borders, put this in, go back and just say, oh, sorry, we didn't record only. I'm so sorry. Let me start recording. Say record. Aha, I have to give that names. I say first with relate with relative. Okay. Now it has started. I'll go to home tab. I'll say ID, name, email. 11. And you can do it slowly. Yeah, it's recording is recording the steps. It's not recording the timing. So it's not that you have to do it in a hurry. You can do it at your own pace and just stop recording. Now go to any new worksheet, click anywhere, and you say macros and say first with reference, run. It will pick up and do it here. So it has used the relative referencing person. Okay. So that is all about actually recording macros and playing it. We'll now look at editing. Before that, I want you to do this. You may want to try the both thing. Just take next maybe few minutes to do recording and playing. And once you are done, just say done, and we'll then look at editing macro. We'll actually open the macro. What is actually get recorded? We'll
Oh,
look at that.
I missed the entire session. In fact, it was not audible. So I logged out and logged in again back.
Mhm.
I missed the entire thing. So no worries. In fact, if you want to do no replay it, do it, or else anyways, I'll check the videos, the YouTube videos. I mean, if it is going to be tricky, then you continue. I'll see the YouTube, or else if you have the bandwidth of time, then if you can help us, that's something which if you can.
Sure, sure, we'll do that. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly show you how do we do recording. So, so there are two options which can do either absolute referencing or relative referencing. When you do absolute referencing, I'll just explain this now. So, for example, if I've done recording of this, I've just recorded steps for doing this, and when I do absolute referencing, and I click here and play it again, it will actually do absolute reference. It will actually do it in B1 or C1 and those kind of things. It will actually stick here. But if I do with relative recording, then I can click anywhere and I can get this uh, table done here. So just to show you, if I just run the macros, I run the macro first. It has actually gone here and played done this work here. But if I do the second macro, the first is relative this thing, and as I run, it will run here. Now to record the macros, there's nothing more than that. Suppose for example, you want relative referencing, you click on this, then you do whatever you want to do. Let us say we just do something quickly. ID name. We just make this uh, thing. Put the color here. Did I record? No, I didn't. Sorry. So I should actually start recording first. Let me delete this. Okay. So first I should start say record macro, and then do this second macro with relative referencing. Say okay, and then you do whatever. I mean, whatever we're doing. This is just a illustration. So do this, do this yellow thing, and yeah, I guess that should be okay. We'll stop record. Now to see how it works, you go to the new worksheet and put it anywhere here and just say macros. The second thing, it kind of replace it at this place. Okay. You can have the three macros actually now. So you could select any one of it. If you run it, it goes like this. That is without relative referencing. If you uh, run the second macro relative referencing, it is generally does this. Now, Which one is better? That depends. I mean, if you want something to be done in a particular location only, then without relative referencing, absolute referencing, it makes sense. Otherwise, you should do use relative referencing. So this is what you record and replay. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will go ahead and try to look at what happened when you say recording. So this is what end user can do, and typically this is used to, suppose you have got a worksheet, you want to do some things bold or italic and those kind of thing. This could be really useful. Actually, before getting into the code, we'll do one more thing. Or let us look at the code first. So let us go to click on the Visual Basic, and you can see that there is a lot of code which is will be here. If you click on it and all that, you could do that. You can find it here where that code is gone, and you could see it here. Okay, or a better way is to come here, uh, click on macros, and let us say first macro that we created. Go and say edit, and here it will open that first macro. Now here it says sub first. Sub is called subroutine. Basically, it's like a function. So it's again, this is getting into programming. So I'll not. So if you don't have a programming background, then you may find this is a little Greek. But we'll just see what it is doing. So it is somewhere doing R1 C1 is equal to ID. Then it goes to B1, puts a name there. C1 puts an email, and then it does something. Um, you know, now we will not really make sense of what it is doing. Uh, it is something saying X automatic, and just put some color over here. Okay. So if you want, you can change this color. So if you want 555655535, we maybe put 11111. Save this. So this is the first. Okay. Now when you try to save this, it will say it can't save as XLS file. You have to save it as XLM file. That's the first thing that we need to know. When we are doing macros, it's like a programming that we are doing. Now in XLX file, you really can't have that snippet code snippet. Earlier it used to be. I mean, if you used old Excel files, you would have known that it used to give an error message saying that it has some code. Are you sure you want to enable and all that? The reason being, this code now we are not understanding so much of this code for the time being. This is the second one and all that. But anybody can write some malicious code and kind of create a problem for you. So malicious, it's like a virus in a way. It's not exactly virus, but it could write some malicious code, and you would have a challenge. So what Excel has done is that you need to save this code as XLSM file. So let me do this. Let me uh, go back here. Um, just say save as, and here it just say Excel workbook. I'll put Excel macro enabled workbook, XLSM, and then you can save that, and then we can make some changes easily here. Okay, so I just tried to make the change of 111 here, saved it. Let me just close this, and now let me run that first macro. Let me run it here itself. Run, and you can see the color has changed because it was yellow with some code, but we just made that change. I don't know what that 111 stand for, but I just put some color, and that color has come here. So it's not that whatever is recorded happens, you can't change that. It is all there. I mean, it's but macro is over here only. You could always go and edit it and make the look at the changes. But then obviously you should be able to understand this kind of code. Okay, and that for that, if you want to really learn how to write this code, then you would need to study the book, right? So that is where that book is what I have given. So that book actually covers everything whatever is required, and that will kind of tell you how to uh, write macros. Yeah, is this clear? Do you just want to kind of uh, spend few minutes to open the macro in your Excel and make some changes here or there? Just try to see whether you can do that. just spend next few minutes to open Excel in your machine. Open that file. Any questions so far? Uh, yeah, is there any questions so far? Is this clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, so we'll, I think this is what generally we would cover just to show you how to record and play and then edit it. But since we have few more 10 minutes, I'll just show you some more code, and this is all up to you whether you want to really use this. But let me just. Can you see my screen?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So there's some code snippets that I've got here. Now let me pick up this code snippet. Okay, this is something you may actually use. So it says sub auto fit column. So what will say cells dot select. So select all the cells, and you say cells dot entire column dot auto fit. So it will do the auto fit kind of a thing. Okay. So let me just select this and where we can use this. So let us go here in Excel. Go back to our functions tab. Now here, some auto fitting is already happened. So I hope you understand auto fit, right? Auto column fit. For example, if you don't have this uh, data which is kind of come like this to you, and you want to do auto column fit, typically what you do, you say Control A or Control A, format, and you say auto fit column width, and it will do the auto fit kind of a thing. Right? That is how we use this function. What I'll do, I'll just bring it like this. Here I'll go to developer and I insert a button. Why I'm putting a button? Because clicking on this button, I'll write a macro. Okay. So I'll just put a button here. Uh, okay. Now when I try to put a button, it'll say what macro I should write. So either I can use some other existing macro. Okay. Or I can create a new macro. So I'll just say new. Okay. So it is say sub button one click. What should I do? So I just copy paste this. So this I should remove this. Uh, So I write on this code button one click cells select cells enter column outfit and then save it. Then I go here. Actually, I should not say button one. I say auto column or something like that. So I'll say auto column fit. Okay, I may increase this button bit little bit. Auto column fit. Okay, this is a button which I got created. Now then I go here, click on it, and I get this effect. Are you getting me? So just put a button here, click on it, it runs the macro, and this kind of a code is automatically uh, executed, and I could get this result. Right now, to make it a little more interesting, let me put some interesting code. Let me put this export as PDF. I'm not sure whether it will run properly or not. Let me just try this out. Okay, I'll explain this. Let me first see that it work. So I go to here. Let me just copy this. I'll be sharing this file with you, so don't worry. Um, okay, I insert another uh, button. I think you can also make it look better. I mean, all those things you could do. But let me just create a new worksheet. Uh, do this button to click. Save this. Go to Excel. This button one is there. I'll just click on this. It's a publishing, and it will go in some thing. Let us see how it happens. So what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to do it export PDF basically. I think it has gone in Spring. So I'll just show you what I was trying to do. Is that I created a folder called Excel in D drive, and I say active sheet, export as fixed format, type is PDF, file name is what are the folder path is active sheet name, and open after publish is equal to false. And this is the code that I have written, and I tried to run this. No, this is going in a spin. I doubt it will happen. But let me just try seeing it. If I go to my D drive, oh no, it didn't create it. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so this is not really working. Now this is a challenge with uh, when you write programming. You need to right now stop running this. Okay, now this is kind of gone in a loop. So let me just kill this. Sorry, let me just try to kill this now. It's kind of gone in a loop. Yeah, sorry, it's asking for the ending. We'll just end it. Document not say the document may be open or an error may have been encountered while saving it. So we could debug this, and it kind of close the Excel anyway. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, it didn't work. That's a challenge that I generally get. Let me just see it again. Okay, I think it didn't work. So I could also see the challenges that associated with macros. That if your code is not properly written, it may actually get into a loop and you'll have a challenge. uh, I need to debug, and that is where you need to really spend some time in figuring out, how this program works. But this is a kind of a code that you could write, and if you really want to edit it the way you want to write new macros, then please refer to the book which I mentioned, and we'll do that. But otherwise, you can simply use it as a recording and editing. I'll share this file anyway with you in case I'll send it on WhatsApp in case you want to do something more, and you want to kind of make some sense out of it and try to do something with it. You can always try doing that. But just ensure that you are not playing with the real data, and sometimes it kind of crashes. You should be able to recover from it. Yeah. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, you could always try doing this wherever you want to. Yeah. So sorry about that. I think like this didn't work, but I'll share this code file and you can try it out yourself later. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of this session or the course also. So let me just take last 2 minutes to see if you have any questions or comments or feedback about the course or the session.
No, the sessions had been very good altogether. It has been a good, giving visibilities on larger aspects. So it was indeed a good experience to have it, and certainly it has helped us, improving the overall skill set required to manage an Excel file. So, thumbs up for the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah, this is Vinod sir, and I wanted to echo the same thing which Manal said. So I've been using Excel for a long time, but really not using all the powerful things that Excel can do, only very basic things. And even though like a lot of these may be available on YouTube, etc., but really how to go about and what it can do was not very clear. So these sessions, the way you have conducted, really appreciate it. Means you spend a lot of time to the way of teaching was very good, sir. Providing all the sheets in advance, and then once you do it, you're giving time for us to do it, so that because without doing really it does not register. So I would also say that very good sessions, and thank you so much. At least now I understand what Excel can do, and from here I think I can explore more, read, and whatever specific I need, I should be able to learn that. So thank you so much.
Thank you
So,
very much.
there's
Yes.
one thing, in fact, just wanted to check, in fact, with you, if you have any program which is which starts from here and goes a little more farther. So, I would like to, explore that, if in case if
Yeah,
you
so,
can
so
help.
that is Excel programming. As I said, that is something which you actually start using Excel more productively. And I've seen many financial services companies and all that, they, or even departmental level, people use Excel macros. They actually write the entire program, just like, a kind of a program written in, say, C++ or Java, Python. People actually write in Excel, this whole thing with the data.
Uh-huh.
So that's the next thing. Um, but as I said last time also, it may be a little challenging for a non-programmer to pick it up. So I
Okay.
would suggest look at that book, start looking at it. If you feel that you really want to do it,
Uh-huh.
then get in touch with me and we'll discuss it further.
Done, done. ठीक है. Sure, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you very much, and thanks. We will now close. We'll share this recording to the people who couldn't attend today. Today being Maharashtra Day, there's some celebration in the school where our other members were, working
Mm.
there. So they don't have holiday actually. So we'll share the recording with them.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
Sure, sir.
thank you.
Thank you
And
very
if
much.
you have any queries, please post it in the group for like maybe month or so, or anytime in future. If you want any queries, you can always ask me on WhatsApp.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
thank,
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
yeah, time and
bye.
efforts. Thank you. Bye bye.